Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday, and welcome to week 11, November 13th to the 17th of our e-learning business leadership course. I hope you all had a great weekend. Report cards are done, midterms are done, so now we can kind of just relax and focus on our goal setting for the second term. It's important to take space to really reflect on where you are and where you're at and where you want to go. So I hope that you do take some time to do that as we move forward in this course. So for this week, just a reminder, your participation or your attendance activity is always linked at the top of the agenda, as well as on the activity feed. And you do have to complete that in order to be marked as present for the entire week. So do make sure that you do that. This week, we have a project, and we are going to be working on this project as our singular exercise for the week. I do think you're going to enjoy it because it does tie into our learning on decision making and planning, but it also does incorporate self-reflection, which again is necessary for growth, but often we don't have the time or space to do that. And so it's really nice when in our courses and the work that we do in class, we're actually forced to do it, right? Because it does give us that space. And again, going back to the fact that it's midterms, that we're into second term now, this will also hopefully align with your ability to reflect on what you want to do to improve moving forward. So with that in mind, this is provided to you in Dropbox, and you'll be submitting the assignment in Dropbox as always. So just we can refer to that just quickly. Actually, we may as well. So if you go into our class and you go into assessments and Dropbox and you scroll all the way down to the bottom of Unit 2, we are going to see the new project listed there. Okay, right there. Where are we? Yep, this is my version. You're going to see things that you won't see on your page. Where it is. Okay, there it is. So you're going to submit your assignment in this Dropbox when done. And as always, it will be due next Monday, November 20th at 8 a.m. You have a whole week to work on this project. So I have high expectations. So let's go through it together. You are going to make a copy of this document. And you're going to go through and complete the document sort of as you see it, okay? So make a copy of the document, share it with me, and then as always, you're going to copy that shared link in the comments section of your Dropbox submission, and you can also upload the document there as you'll be prompted for that. Before you get started on this assignment, you do have to read the chapter reading on planning processes and techniques. I will be looking for evidence of this reading throughout your work. So you have to make reference to this reading in this project. Okay, so start with the reading. Take notes in your your Unit 2 course notes that you're keeping because I've suggested it over and over again. Make sure that you are taking notes on this reading. Then you will go and use those notes and refer to them as you answer the questions in this project. I will be looking right here in the document, as you can see, evidence of this knowledge and connection to the project and the questions that are asked of you. Okay. Once you are, that's that. Okay, so once you're done that, you can jump into the assignment. And the first part of the assignment is incorporates an interview component. For the next couple of projects moving forward, you're going to be asked to interview people, mentors, role models, individuals in your lives that hold positions of influence and positions of professional occupations in your lives. Perhaps you are inspired by. These can be people, perhaps your boss, your employer, perhaps your parents' employers, perhaps, aunts or uncles or people within your external family that are in positions of influence, power, and, in their occupations, and or teachers, coaches, individuals within your life that you see as a mentor or a role model. Okay. Now, you're going to be doing this for this project as well as for your second culminating project for Unit 2. And the culminating project is much more involved. So you're going to be actually interviewing two separate people. So whoever you interview for this project, you will have to come up with a different person for your unit end project. So really want you to think about that because you might want to choose someone for the larger project that, you might want to interview. There's far more, questions. It's much more in depth. You might want to consider that person for that project and choose someone else for this project. I do ask that you do try to choose someone that is outside of your immediate family. So for example, perhaps not your, a parent figure or an adult within your home environment. Okay. The reason is we want to stretch ourselves, right? We want to be leaders and go out in the community and have conversations with people we may not otherwise typically have conversations with. Of course, there are always external circumstances. We have families where they're living in different areas. And so, and perhaps, a parent figure that, or, an adult in your lives that perhaps they have a really cool occupation and maybe you've really never sat down with them and actually asked them questions about it. And it might provide an opportunity for you to connect on that level. In that circumstance, of course, that sounds really like a great idea. So I would just want you to make sure that you consider those factors. And remember that whoever you interview for this project has to be someone different for your next one. Okay. Once you know who you're going to be interviewing, you're going to sign up on this sign up sheet just so that I know who it is you're interviewing. So you're going to go into this editable document and you're going to put your name and then the relationship and the interviewee's name as well as the relationship to that person. So for example, if you're interviewing your coach, you would put their name as well as their relationship to you. So they're your football coach as an example. And then you're going to provide just a point of contact for that interviewee if I do need to contact them to verify the information that you're providing. AKA, you can't make up information that's not actually true and happening. Okay. So that is what we're doing for this. Once you have that, you're going to start going in and completing part A of the assignment. So you're going to tell me who your interview is, why you chose this person, and you're going to go through these series of interview questions. You may, for the purposes of this, these 5 questions, you may record this. So with the permission of the interviewee, you may record it. So I have lots of students that do that. They do audio or visual recording. I have students that, have a camera set up and they host like an actual professional interview. That's always really cool. Or they do a voiceover interview or just with just audio. And that's totally fine as well if you'd like to protect, the physical presence of the person. It's kind of an easier way of doing it than transcribing. So I do kind of recommend that you go that route. But again, it's up to you. Sometimes interviews will be hosted through Zoom or Google Meet, depending on where the person is where they reside. Perhaps you have an aunt that lives in South Carolina, and the only way that you can actually do the interview is through a Google Meet. In which case, of course, you can just click record on the Meet and submit that. So that's another option as well. And it's efficiency, right? It can also save you time. So just something to consider. All right, once you've done that, you move into part B, which is the inquiry work. Okay, and you're going to do some research here. So I do expect that you'll have to include citations for where you access this information. So for example, question 6, what is the penalty for not filing your Canadian taxes by the deadline? What is the deadline for filing taxes in Canada? And can you ask for an extension? This is not information that you know. So I do expect that you'll be doing outside research and then you'll be citing that information. Again, the purposes of this assignment is to reflect on time management skills, planning skills, and how it relates and extends beyond high school, the high school environment. Then in part C, you're actually going to find 3 teachers in your school, 3 different teachers in your school. And these can be teachers that you currently have, or they can be teachers that you've had before and you have a great relationship with that you trust. And you're going to ask them and record their answers. What is the one piece of advice that you would give a student to help them improve their time management skills? So in the past, I've had some students that they write one sentence. I would recommend that, again, most teachers, if you ask them, what would you do to have students improve their time management skills? They're not going to answer that question in one sentence. Teachers like to talk. So make sure that is reinforced in what you do here. And again, with teacher permission, you can also just record it. This is sometimes just easier for students to do. And you're more than welcome to do that. Put together a little video, whatever it is that your creative mind creates. Okay. So that's that. Okay. So make sure that you include their name in that as well. And then part D, personal connection. And I would like to mention with this, don't forget that all of these teachers are within the Halton District School Board. So last semester I did have a student use a teacher that happened to be in my school. And then when I asked said teacher, If they were interviewed, they said no. So I knew that they had made up the words of the teacher. Don't do that. All right. And then we have part D, personal connection. And this is where you actually get to reflect on yourself, right? So why are deadlines important, et cetera, et cetera. It does ask you to build a calendar for your week. Many of you do use agendas, which is amazing, but many of you don't. It's an important life skill to learn how to actively time block. And in this calendar, it actually asks you to time block like space for your joy. So space for you to actually be intentional about making sure that you have time for yourself to do the things that you love. And no, that does not include scrolling on TikTok. So again, like going for a walk, like time blocking that in, being in nature, being with your family, whatever that might be or what look like, making sure that you're intentionally adding that to the calendar because that's just as important as everything else. Okay, so this is the assignment. I think you're going to enjoy it, but you do have all week to work on it. When you're done, make sure that you submit it in Dropbox by the deadline. Do make sure that you do sign up on who your interviewee is. So about midweek, if I don't see that filled in, I'll just be reaching out to you, okay? All right, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope you have a great week. Otherwise, I will see you online.